Monstieur, a show where we discuss and redesign the most horrific icons of entertainment. Let's see what we do. Enjoy!
Testing, testing. Can you guys hear me now? All right, well, we all introduced ourselves and nobody heard us but here. I think we're back on the line, at least for that part. Let me get the other part going.
Oh, shit.
Testing, testing.
Oh, okay.
All right, can you guys hear us?
Yeah, they can hear.
All right, well, that was rather embarrassing of us all talking to ourselves, but I think you guys can hear us now. All right, we're gonna introduce ourselves again. As stated before, in silence. Today we're discussing Dr. Satan from House of a Thousand Corpses, which debuted in I think it was 2003. Gentlemen, please introduce yourselves. Yeah, go. For real
Hi.
now, twice.
Oh shit, for realties. Hi, my name is Amir. I'm a concept artist and illustrator based in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm really happy to be on the show today because, you know, Big fan of Rob Zombie and all of his work. So thanks for having me.
Twice. We've all had practice. We can do it again.
Yeah. My name's Thomas Elliott. I'm an in-house illustrator for Games Workshop. I do digital stuff for my day job and lots of traditional stuff, drawing and ink work in the evenings. I'm based in Nottingham in England, and I'm very happy to be on the show.
Welcome, Randy.
Hi, my name is Randy Tironi. I'm a concept artist and illustrator. I work freelance for various clients around the world, and here I am today on the show to show you my work.
Welcome.
Hi everybody. My name is Krom. I'm a freelance illustrator and independent comic book artist from Mexico, and I am looking forward to sharing what I got and seeing everybody else's work.
All right, thanks for coming. And I'm J.R. Covern, also known as James. If you're familiar with my work, you're most likely familiar with the Pokemon I did years ago, where I turned them to monstrosities. I've done work for Sideshow Collectibles. Where else? I've also done work for Games Workshop, a little bit of Magic the Gathering, and I don't know, just a bunch of stuff. So welcome everyone. And we got some feedback in the chat here. Okay, we got who's HD? They said, what the fuck is going on with Amir's hair? Do you know this guy? He says
it's definitely not a hat. We confirmed that earlier. Okay.
I like Amir's hair. Fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, James. I like your hair too.
Hi, Joy. Hi, Mayo. And hi, Andrew. Hi, Mets. Hi, everybody.
Oh, so you know some of these guys, I think, huh?
Yeah, I just spammed this. I've just spammed this everywhere that I was trying to get the show around.
Oh, appreciate that. All right, well, hello, everybody, all you new people. All right, well, today, as I stated before, we are discussing Dr. Satan. Who here was not familiar with Dr. Satan before you started the prompt?
Me.
Personally, or
well, not. Yeah, I mean,
right.
yeah. You might have a story behind that. You might have met him in person. You might have seen him at the mall.
Bad dentistry.
But
James actually.
What's that?
Oh, you actually did the makeup for Dr. Satan. You're the
Yeah.
guy underneath. Like you look like the whole
Back
deal.
back when I was like vegan. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Randy, you weren't familiar with Dr. Satan? What rock have you been living under for the past 20 years?
I don't really watch that many horror movies. That's the main thing.
Oh, that's right, huh? Yeah.
But I did actually watch a bunch of this to get it. So.
Okay. Did you watch the House of a Thousand Corpses in its entirety?
No, I watched like a recap video of it. It was like 30 minutes long, and they kind of showed all the main parts where they killed everybody, and they talked about the story and what was going on, and they showed, the important parts where they were killing the people.
Okay, those are the most important parts, probably. Yeah, a little bit of death. And you, Krom, you never saw House of a Thousand Corpses before?
No, it's funny. I actually watched The Devil's Rejects at a friend's place. Like we were just hanging out and we were watching that movie. So I watched it without context. And I did remember thinking to myself, well, maybe I should watch House of a Thousand Corpses sometime, but I never got around to it. Then Amir told me, I feel like I somehow, when Amir invited me, I was half asleep. So I just read Satan. I just read Satan. And I would say,
I'm on board with Satan.
I can do a redesign of the devil. I've been playing a lot of Doom Eternal. Like I'm very, I've been a very demon type of vibe going on. So I'm like, I can redesign Satan. And then I woke up later and I saw, oh shit, Dr. Satan. What's that? Oh no. So I decided to, I'm gonna watch House of the Thousand Corpses once and for all. So so I tracked down the movie, paid the appropriate amount, and then I completely forgot to watch it. So I just read about the character. I read about like the legend of Dr. Satan and his experiments to create superhumans, and I feel like I was like, that's a very appealing idea. It's something that really vibes a lot with my own concepts, particularly for comics and stuff. So I was like, yeah, I think I can work with that alone, and then watch the movie later. Maybe that was hubris of my part, given the end result. But
we should watch the trilogy together sometime. For real, it's so fun.
Yeah, I probably should. So yeah, I wasn't joking when I said I have no idea what I'm doing here. Like everybody here is a big shot, and I'm just like some guy.
No,
who didn't even bother to watch the movie.
No, you're good, bro. You're good. I see.
Nah.
Get out of
It's
here.
all good to me.
Get out of here.
We're all people.
Under the Mayo says, House is fun. Rejects is far superior film, though, I feel. Yeah, you know what? I haven't seen The Devil's Rejects, so you may be right.
I remember really liking Devil's Rejects, so he might be right.
It's so good.
Is it that much better?
Looking back into my childhood, I watched House of a Thousand Corpses about 3 times, but I watched Devil's Rejects like 8 to 10 times.
Okay.
So yeah, that was a good flick.
Yeah.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
remember really liking it.
The proof is in the pudding, then.
Yeah. Also, Mayo is quite on point with his taste in film. So I
Okay. All
we
right.
might disagree on some things, but most of the time I trust his judgment.
All right, I'm on board with that. I'm gonna follow the Mayo.
It's Andrew's worst enemy.
Ryjoy says, I'm here watching thanks to your work, Krom. All right, see? Look at you. So, Thomas, okay,
Yeah.
are you familiar with the character Fabius Bile?
Yeah. Oh, I saw this actually. There's meant to be some parallels between Dr. Satan and Fabius Bile.
I didn't know if there was, but as soon as I don't remember which one I saw first either. Was it whether I saw House of a Thousand Corpses or Fabius Bile debuted as part of... He's Chaos, right?
Yeah. So basically, in the law, he's basically. I think they're kind of stemming from the same archetype, where it's kind of demented, twisted surgeon. So in the Warhammer universe, he's aligned with Chaos. He was part of the Emperor's Children Legion, depending on how deep into the lore you want to go. And basically, he started off trying to make the Space Marines even more, tonk, and obviously just downhill, struggle. But the kind of cool thing though is that I think Fabius Bile existed as a character before Dr. Satan. So all the people saying that Fabius Bile looks like Dr. Satan, it's the other way around, guys.
That's what I thought too. Because when I was a young lad, I had Fabius Bile as a little miniature, and then I saw he had like the hookups with the apparatus with the needles coming off of him, and like his strapped into his arms, all that stuff. It was pretty. I liked his character quite a bit then, and then they came out with the movie. I'm all, there he is. That's the guy.
Well, I like the idea. It's cut to Rob Zombie, like just playing with like a little Warhammer figure, being like, "This is it. This is what we need for the film." Like,
yeah, totally. He's such a nerd. I love him.
Oh yeah, Rob Zombie's a big time nerd. He's like an all around artist. He's kind of like he's like a Renaissance man, but like for horror. He does everything. He's interested. He does writing. He does like directing. He does visual arts. He does music. I mean, that's a lot of yourself you're putting out there at a regular basis.
He's been in it for a long time, and he's always done it himself. He's always been a guy who just kind of goes in and gets it done.
He's a very prolific guy, definitely.
Well, have you, as a slight tangent, have you guys ever encountered Power Man 5000?
His brother.
Yeah, his brother. I mean, it's kind of cute, really. Where like obviously Rob Zombie went out and kind of like put his flag in the mud for horror kind of music, and then his younger brother, kind of went off and did like, okay, well, I'm going to do sci-fi now. And it's kind of like Rob Zombie with sci-fi, but their music's quite good.
Yeah, but he didn't stick with it, right? He kind of fizzled. I like
Yeah,
that
I mean-
first. I liked his debut album. I was like, all right, yeah, I can get behind this.
But then I feel like Rob Zombie also like kind of mellows out a little bit. Like some Rob Zombie's more recent music is a bit more kind of goes into other directions as well as horror.
Well, you can't be doing the same thing forever. Like I get it. I haven't heard his new music, but yeah, like there's only so many times you can beat the horse.
Yeah, yeah.
I hope he makes music forever. Keep beating that horse, Rob Zombie. I love you.
I had no idea that the guy from Power Man 5000 was his brother, though. That's news to me.
Yeah.
A lot of things make sense now.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah. There is also. I was just thinking about like maybe this is a weird comparison to make, but like, I also felt a little bit of a Mechanicus vibe from the concept of Dr. Satan, but maybe that's just me, kind of like
Yeah.
having.
It all started with Fabius Bile. All of it.
I suppose like he's got that whole kind of like mechanical augmentation kind of vibe, but I think if
Yes.
you took a proper Warhammer fan, they would take issue with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just there's just like every time I read about someone trying to quote unquote improve humans, like I'm always kind of drawn to like that type of transhumanism, like like cybernetic stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's kind of where we're going, right? I mean, we're all running around with one of these now. This is like the frontier. Pretty soon we're going to be competing with AI with like chips in our head and scanning stuff to get faster and having programs running us and we got some feedback in the chat. What do we got here? King Crow says "Caca, ahoy there, folks." Very very themed. I like that, King Crow.
Hello.
Hello. Ted Evelyn Mosby says, "Hey y'all, I saw this. I saw the Reddit post advertising. It's good, Amir. People are seeing you. That's great. Thanks for coming, man.
Get the word out.
Yeah, thanks for coming, guys. But who's
Fabius is the Rick Sanchez of 40K.
Yeah, I looked at that too.
Rick Sanchez? I don't even know who that is.
How do I begin to
Screen share?
No.
It's the Rick and Morty ref.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I know who Rick
I was
and
like, how do I begin to explain this joke in a way that doesn't reveal that I don't really like Rick and Morty?
No, I'm a big fan of Rick and Morty. I like it. Whenever I've seen it, I've loved it.
It's not for me. Like I don't think it's bad. It's just
Oh, you don't like it? It's too derivative.
no.
I
I think it's just not for me. I can't even quite say I have a valid reason other than it just didn't pique my interest. I watched a few episodes and I laughed at the first ones and then I just kind of like lost interest afterwards. I couldn't bring myself to.
No.
I feel like I'm like probably 15 years older than I actually am. I don't like anything new.
I'm on
Like
board
and the
with
only new things I like are kind of callbacks to old things. Like before Doom 2016, I hadn't played a video game in like 12 years.
Wow.
What are you doing on this thing? Get out of here.
Yeah. We love Rick and Morty here, right? All 3 seasons.
No, I'm on board. I'm on board with not liking the mainstream. I'm with you, Krom. I'm on your side here. This is a high five.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not one of those people who are like, oh, don't like this, it's shit, because that's not nice. But I think you're also allowed to say, hey, you know what? This is not for me.
No way, you're gonna get canceled, bro.
Oh shit.
Anyway, hey, let's get into it. You guys want to see some art? We got some
Yeah,
people popping in the chat. Let's check out some art. Now, since we're in the older form, the OG format for Monstieur, you guys can all share your own stuff. So that being said, you guys just it's on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, and who shall we have? Amir, you're a show veteran. Would you mind showing yours first?
I don't mind. I'll expose myself to the camera.
Expose yourself to the camera, please.
I gotcha.
We're still talking about R, right? Like.
We'll see when we get there. All right, let's see this.
All right. King Crow says DNA manipulation and bioweapons are cool in stories and comics. I love Wolverine and Resident Evil. Yeah, anytime. Yeah, that's like pseudoscience is introduced. It kind of makes for a very interesting plot, I would say.
Hell yeah. That's actually kind of mine as well. Very pseudoscience.
Yeah.
I didn't get too deep into the render because I fucked myself by doing 3 characters instead of just 1. But the story was so good that I was just like, damn, I want to do that though. So here's my Dr. Satan redesign. He's basically this dude who kind of found out that he could harness the human soul to power a time machine. And by doing so, he figured that he can achieve immortality by going back into the past and pulling older versions of himself, both to help him and to continue his legacy. So it's just like only him. He doesn't want kids. He doesn't want to reproduce like that. He's literally finding immortality through time. And, kind of the nitty gritty on how he does it, he like chops up human body parts and he has to like reconfigure them in a way to allow him to even access the soul. And then he has all sorts of cool machinery that allows him to harness that power and destroy your soul and use the machine. And this is like, this is supposed to happen in like late Victorian era, like early 1800s, like that type of shit, like Civil War shit. His arch rival is either a vampire or a werewolf. I haven't decided, but either way, his rival is similarly like preying on humans to further their own lifespan, but his rival sees this as a perversion of the natural order. And he's like, even though I'm cursed, I was cursed by nature itself. You are perverting, the laws of the universe for your own gain, kind of like Satan in a way. He's trying to beat God. He's trying to beat the universe itself to further his own lifespan and his own endeavors. And in doing so, he just turns into this horrible monstrosity and all of that. I hope that wasn't too scatterbrained of a...
No, I like it, dude. I almost want to see like different apparatuses and whatnot where he would have to arrange like body parts in order to absorb various essences and whatnot of the soul in order to keep moving, and like how that would work within his character. Like what if he's running short on like he starts losing his mind, so he needs to harvest certain body parts in order to regain that. And just as like we get old, like you start like if you don't use it, you kind of lose it.
Yeah, no, that was exactly the initial inspiration for this. I had the image in my head of him in his lab with a naked chick, all fucking cut up and stuff, and then her, like, she's all mangled. You can barely recognize it as a human. It's just body parts, but her soul is coming out, and it's this beautiful thing that's being torn apart by machinery, and he's being, like, I guess adjudicated by his rival, the vampire and or werewolf. So, and then there would be all 3 of these dudes, like, doing the stuff. So, the mechanical Dr. Satan is in back doing the hard work, and Discovery Dr. Satan, which looks like Rob Zombie, is doing the.
I was wondering about that.
Yes.
So wait, why are there 3?
Because he went back in time and took like himself from different points in the timeline to bring him into the same time and space so that he could further his own endeavor and also like further his lifespan through like time immortality.
Oh, so he's like a like a hive mind within himself. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a concept. I don't know if this is a concept strictly in the realm of physics or quantum physics, but there's a thing called I think it's called quantum mortality, and the
Yeah.
concept of quantum mortality is it essentially I may be saying this wrong. I'm not a scientist, but the basic premise of it is that because there are several timelines of you, like an infinite number of possibilities, you perceive that as you living the longest possible. You only experience spending the longest possible existence, because every time you die in another timeline, your consciousness simply focuses on the ones where you survive. Which is ironically it's been something that's been used to kind of justify impossible odds in action movies and shit, which is a funny thing. But
Impossible what?
impossible odds, like in action movies, like, oh, there's no way he could just walk in there with a machine gun and survive, being fired at by all of these like random mooks, So people use it. So some smartass use it to justify action heroes surviving for this long. The idea of quantum immortality, because it's like you just switch to a timeline where you actually survived. So you experience everything in like one continuous stream where you live the longest possible time you can actually live. So I figured, like, when you told me about this guy, it sounds like he somehow learned of that and is using that knowledge to kind of game the system,
Yeah.
almost like a cheat code, so to speak.
Yeah.
And all these variants of himself are all communicating with himself too, to like keep their entity alive across time and space.
Yes.
Dude, that's really cool, dude. Like I like want to, like, you should definitely write it down. And even if you wanted to like take it away from Dr. Satan and make your own story of a character that's doing this, I think that'd be pretty enticing if you did it well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I grew up on Legacy of Kain, and then recently this show came on Netflix called Dark. It's a German show, and they explored a lot of the same themes. So I brought it back and I Legacy of Kainified it and turned it into like a God and Satan and Destiny thing. So
how do you see this particular character interacting with said werewolf or vampire?
Oh man.
Because obviously, like, that's a supernatural being, so that's going to be like what's his advantage? What's Dr. Satan's advantage?
Dr. Satan's advantage is they're counterparts of each other. So there really isn't an advantage for either, because they both still prey on humans. They both still are gaming the system in one way or another, except the werewolf / vampire, I don't know which. He had that thrust upon him, whereas Dr. Satan built it out of hard work.
Yeah.
And he did it all himself, and I guess Dr. Satan, he has always had that sheer force of will and narcissism and ego driving him, which is also his greatest downfall. But his counterpart has a similar great force of will, but it's something that his counterpart is arriving to versus something that was built into him.
Okay, so like one of the Dr. Satans had this epiphany, and then he kind of infected his other kind of selves with that particular mindset, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
he manipulated himself in order to get a further, like, to where he wanted to go, basically.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You got some feedback in the chat. Alicia says, "Oh, that's a cool story. So mean, eating other souls for personal gain." But she made an okay sign with the fingers, so I think she's okay with it. King Crow says Doctor Who type shit. I like it. Yeah, it is kind of Doctor Who-y, but like metal.
Yeah.
And Mad says the one furthest left is super rad. Dark is an excellent show.
Oh hell yeah! Thanks, man. Yeah, that's the most what's it called? That's Rob Zombie just chilling there. I had to put him in because I was just listening to a shitload of Rob Zombie while making this.
As you should.
Yeah.
Has he got
Randy-
ropes? I was going to say, has he got ropes on his fingers? Is that how he controls the big arms?
Yeah.
Nice.
He's got like little ropes, and he has 2 per finger, one for the primary joint and one for the secondary joints.
Randy, I think you're muted. Sorry to interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Randy, you're muted.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so if you were I saw your mouth
sorry.
moving,
I was
and I
muted.
was like, oh, I think he's saying something. Maybe not. Maybe he's just making fun of everyone. No, just kidding.
There's a lot of like functionality hocus pocus going on here. I didn't really have the time to go deep into like the ergonomics and practicality of how he's actually controlling each of these fingers and each joint, but there's enough there. I think like these can move back and forth. I put some hinges there so he can control these joints like accordingly. The fingers themselves, like the third digit, I didn't figure out how to do that, but it's okay. It was good for a first pass because I didn't have much time to work on this. I got swamped by real life Corona times.
For sure. I dig what you did, man.
Thanks. Yeah. To get into the nitty gritty of art stuff, the primary idea for the shape of Dr. Satan was supposed to be him embodying the upside down cross.
Oh, okay, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, and like the main, I guess, piece of the cross is hell itself. It's a bunch of people getting sucked into like that vortex of lust from that cool painting, and it's supposed to be made out of metal and all that cool stuff. I guess more into the nitty gritty. He has these cool ass tubes down here that allow him to pee and poo at will, so he can just continue working. And then like the top is this like black metallic Satan head that's also deformed and like bulbous and disgusting. And oh yeah, and the shape here, it's supposed to replicate Baphomet, where you have like the devil head and then the tits on the bottom with like the septic tank. Like you turn the handles.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that. Like, I wasn't really sure. Is that me or is there something going on there?
Yeah, it's supposed to be tits. do it for the gram.
I actually thought it was like represented balls.
Oh, dude, he just got major hangers. Yeah, no, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna transcend the human form and preserve yourself in like time manipulation, you gotta have some stones, dude.
For real.
That's true. Probably has some serious stones happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why do you think the one on the left's walking like that? You know, like.
Oh yeah, that's why he's in a wheelchair. I mean,
The real
half
reason. The biggest decision behind the concept. Massive stones. That's what's happening.
Fucking dog.
Massive. So Amir, jumping into this, what was your biggest hurdle?
The thing that I kept running into was just process stuff, because I've been wanting to gear myself for the industry, and I kept doing this thing where I draw at a resolution where the thing isn't even going to be seen at, and I had very little time. So in retrospect, and even during the piece, I was kicking myself in the head like, why am I doing this beautiful torso from my head without reference in like hard black line this fucking close to the canvas when I should be drawing from out here because you're not even gonna see what I did.
Yeah.
You know?
Ooh.
Well,
And
yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go.
And I just kept like running into that trap, losing time, even though I was limited on time. I only worked on this thing for like 3 days. So like I was still just like dying because I know I can be faster and more disciplined. And every time I tried, I kept, just messing up. But it's okay. Practice.
If you would have just gone with simple tertiary lines and then kind of went in with a quick cell shade, I think you would have gone just as far with it in a shorter amount of time, probably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But hey, man, lesson learned. But you had fun with it. You gotta have fun with it too. That's part of the whole art jam, right?
Of course. I mean, the subject material, it's so me. I don't often give myself the opportunity to draw for my own personal edification. So I just, I loved every second of this, and it was such an awesome return to my roots as just a fucking human.
Yeah, man, you gotta give yourself a hug.
Mm-hmm.
You guys give him a hug.
Give me a hug, guys.
Come on, give a little hug
Like,
in the chat.
give me a Dr. Satan hug. Look, he's opening his arms. Dr. Satan!
Dr. Satan hug. Now, what would you say your favorite part about what you did is? Like the thing, like you're all done with it. You're like, all right, that sticks. I like that. We're keeping that.
Did I give him a tooth gap?
Oh my god.
Oh, I gave him many tooth gaps.
Okay, as long as it has a tooth cap, that's a.
No. I just like the greater idea, honestly. Like the overarching concept of what he was and what he represented, and I liked how I was able to portray him at different stages of his life, both giving him like the wear and tear of time, and also like the wear and tear of time, making it different enough so that you see that he's gone through some shit, but also keeping an element that was similar throughout all three characters. He has this scar on his forehead that goes straight down. Mm-hmm. That kind of tells you, no, this is the same guy,
Yeah. Well, turned out bitchin'. Love the concept. Love how much work you put into actually thinking up the story for said character. Like, I really think you should write a lot of that down. Like, I think people, if you're gonna share it, I think people would like really appreciate the concept that much more if you did.
Oh.
And
thanks, man.
Yeah, dude, great work.
Yeah.
Hey.
Really, really good stuff.
Cool.
Really cool, man.
Let's keep moving, guys. Randus Toronis.
Could I go next?
Yeah, that's.
After?
Oh, you don't want to go right now?
No, can I go to the next one?
Would you just call me? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so you want to go after the next person? Got it.
Yeah.
Krom, would you like to?
Sure.
Since you've been on the show once before, it's not your first. You're like not quite
I've been
a virgin.
on the show once before, yeah.
Or twice. Once or twice. You
sure.
went with Amir, right?
I think I've been once. I've been with Amir.
Twice. Boy.
Twice. Share my screen.
Goliath and Beholder. The
Okay.
Freeholder.
Window or screen, okay. Can you guys see it?
I see you.
Nice.
Oh, look, that's quite a bit further along than the.
I can see the Doom influence.
Yes. Yes. This is my rendition. You can really tell that I've been on a really heavy Doom and Doom Eternal vibe. I've just been taking it in as visual influence. But this is my Dr. Satan, and my idea of this character is that he was actually originally a priest working for the Vatican in the far future. And he kind of had like a Father Merrin thing going for him, where he had this one demon that he was chasing along like along several places, possessing people, and when he found out that the world was so out of faith that even his own faith started to falter, he turned to science to try to save people by hopefully creating some kind of cybernetic body that would, like, then he could transfer the person's soul there, to kind of like instead of driving out the demon, drive out the human. But that stuff inevitably went wrong because you don't just toy with the human soul. And what he pulled out instead of the humans, he pulled out the demons from the bodies, because machines would just be much easier to possess. There's not a will really fighting against you there. So it's much easier to just possess a mindless automated thing. So eventually he was pretty much overwhelmed by his own creations, and he just fell to the powers of hell. His soul was essentially scrambled into an algorithm that now can replicate itself, and its only goal is to propagate itself like a cancer. So essentially, it's kind of like part necromancer, part Satanist, where this thing just sends its mindless, like creations, the cyber zombies, to collect more people, to then cut open and enhance, take the human soul, put a demon soul in there, and just keep going. But it's not something. It's not really anything that has any higher purpose. Is not trying to. Not even hell is really interest. Like, none of the higher archdukes are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use this for my purposes. This is just something that went horribly wrong.
It just evolved from a twisted mind, basically. This one, and he created a world, a whole world around his twisted mind, and just kept on infecting everything around him, basically, with what he was doing, right? Yeah,
because his I think his mistake was to think that he could compartmentalize the human soul into something measurable. You can't. So his fitting quote unquote punishment is that he himself was scrambled into just a series of zeros and ones. But because that's impossible, it just ended up with a corrupted file that just replicates itself like a virus. It's not something that in my mind, like, he eventually might even pose a threat to the demons themselves, because this thing is just pure entropy propagating itself until nothing is left.
Reminiscent of the Smith virus from Matrix, it's kind of like just,
exactly, because nothing in this world is without purpose, and to not have a purpose is to just be like a sort of a canceling thing. It literally devoids everything else of purpose, and because it devoids everything else of purpose, it's just mindless. And
this is how cancel culture started.
Yeah.
It's a very nihilistic idea.
I really like it, bro. And I can see why you and Amir are good buddies, because you guys went deep, dude. This is really rad. It actually reminds me of there's that movie. I don't think it's very well known. I think it starred Johnny Depp, where he became AI, and then he uploaded himself into the computer, and then he became nanobots, and he was making the world a better place. But in order to do that, he had to do some very inhuman things. This just sounds like a very like a twisted. It just sounds like a negative version of what he became, basically.
Yeah, I mean, this guy also started out with the best intentions, but he just he made the wrong call, basically. I can't even say it was hubris or like a darker. He just made the wrong call, which is like the thing. It's like to me, it's much scarier when it's like, yeah, it was just an honest mistake, but it's an honest mistake that just ended up dooming this man's soul.
Wow.
Just
Because I think people like always think that the scariest thing was the possibility that everything is that the presence of random negates everything else. You know, that it negates morality, that it negates purpose, that it negates the good, everything good that we are as humans.
Mhm.
But I think an even scarier thing would be to know for certain that there's a purpose, that there's a heaven and there's a hell, but still have the presence of random.
Mhm.
That by one honest mistake, you could just damn your soul to hell. You know?
or being that
Like-
find some other, create some whole new one, which it sounds like he has. So it's like
Yeah.
another purgatory.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Like,
he-
just create a whole different type of hell.
Because this character's living in a closed loop. He just created a cycle for himself. That's just like he won't die, and he won't succeed. He just continued to do this chaotic thing.
That's an excellent way to put it, yeah. And I also feel like the arms and that stuff is essentially him beginning to unravel. Like he's starting to replicate himself within himself. So all of these arms are starting to grow, and eventually he will grow to be so large, you know, so impossibly big that he just starts consuming absolutely everything around him. You know,
Yeah.
like his creations and his form is just starting to unravel.
Whoa, Krom, you know what that just reminded me of?
Yeah.
That's totally Akira. That's
I thought that
like,
too.
yeah.
yeah.
It's like a perverted version of the singularity theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, which is rad. You got some feedback in the chat. Mad says Mecha Zombies represent. Alicia says these concept backstories are really interesting, and you got Amir. He's in there. Says,
Yeah.
He says got to put
Yeah.
in that work, yo.
How do we view the chat? Sorry.
You would actually have to view it on YouTube. So when people
Okay.
like so, I would
Putting the
suggest
link.
if you have spotty internet, you're in the red bar status, to do it on your phone, and then you can check it while
Yeah,
we're
no, I'm
streaming.
not going to push my internet any further than it has to.
But yeah, so Krom,
Mhm.
like you're still working on it, but you're approaching the finish line.
Yeah.
What was your biggest hurdle with what you've done?
Time.
Time.
It's been a bad week for me. I got some work to catch up with, and I'm also like, I also have a comic that I'm putting out every week, so that also took a little bit of time. So I ended up having to push this to the absolute last minute because of all the stuff I had to do. Even though I had a solid idea, like I thought about it quite a bit, so like it was easy to sit down and work on this because I already have a very clear idea of the composition and what exactly I wanted to have.
Yeah, I like those hints of things that you're digging up in the background. It's cool as we're watching. You're kind of working on it still. It's cool, man. Can't wait to see where you bring it. Now, what's your favorite part? I imagine, I'm gonna guess, is the lore you've created to go along with it.
Definitely. I mean, I like thinking about the stuff that I draw. I definitely like the lore. It's similar in concept to stuff that I've made for my D&D setting, where the undead are a big thing. So like, it's not the first time that I sit down and think about like what would be like a cyber undead type creature going around. I just wanted to add like a demonic twist to this one. But I also just really like drawing things that are really big and have lots of arms, because that's just something that I'm drawn to. It's something that I think would be scary if I were to find one of those things in real life. So I always like to make these like just multi-arm monsters. It's just there's something very satisfying about it.
I'm on board with you.
Yeah,
I've done that a little bit.
I like how you hit the swastika in there, real subtle. I'm kidding.
Yes.
Everybody zooming in. What? We're canceling this.
I'm a known Mexican white supremacist.
Yeah.
I am joking, by the way.
Yeah.
Just in case just in case Twitter caught whiff of this, I'm joking. Please don't cancel me.
Yeah.
Dude, but
It's
for
too
real
late.
though.
You already got the soundbite. Totally quotes it out of context.
Yeah.
Oh, for real though, I do like your composition idea. It's really good, and I always love how you manage shapes, bro. They're always so strong.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's that's definitely either Mignola or Frazetta. I stole everything I know from composition from both of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly Frazetta. He has a very when in doubt, triangles. That's the Frazetta lesson that I took. Like triangle composition. That's all you need.
Triangle and fog and blob. He's got those two things.
And rippling muscles. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, rippling muscles, triangles, fog and blob.
Yeah,
and some boobs too, if when you could fit them in.
Fog and blob.
It's so effective, and he uses so effectively that it almost feels like you're cheating when you're doing it.
Well, you are.
Like,
no, I'm just kidding.
I am. Yeah, like it's like a cheat code for you know.
You did.
Making us all eat piece of art, I think.
Looks like you did more than you did.
Mads in the chat says Mexican Nazi sounds a lot like Mecha Zombie. Twitter's on to you.
You know, the fun thing is, I remember walking around the university and actually seeing some kids wearing some like Hitler T-shirts, and one of them actually had like Mein Kampf in a T-shirt, and I was just like, bro, how?
How?
Yeah, like just walk me through it.
Okay.
I had a Korean workout partner, and we used to work out back in the day. Like we're like religious about it. We'd always he was always working out with me, and like my brother has a shaved head like me. And apparently, a lot of people at the gym thought that we were skinheads, and my buddy, like he didn't have money to get a haircut. We were young lads, and he shaved his head, like like pretty far down, and he had some people ask him if they converted him, if like those white guys converted him, like what's going on? Like he thought that we thought we got it. We thought we thought we got one.
Yeah.
Quite enough. It's fine.
But
that's I would say that's ironically I would say that was discrimination. You were discriminated.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, a little. There was some like racial stereotyping stuff going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about it. It didn't hurt my feelings. I didn't feel the need to cancel anyone.
So if you're a white bald guy, you're a skinhead.
Well, in that particular situation, I suppose I was recognized as one. But yeah.
Wow.
But let's move forward.
Yeah, I was like, where's our HR guy?
Yeah, where's our HR guy? He's been balls deep into his comic book. He's at the finish line. He wants to finish it up.
Oh, good for him.
But Randy, you ready to rock?
Yeah.
Expose
Good
yourself.
shit, Krom.
Yeah, great
Thanks.
stuff, man.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm going to share my screen.
Oh, look at that face.
King Crow says later, guys. Later, guys.
Night, Crow.
Game night.
Have a good
Peace
one.
out. Yeah.
Good night.
See you, King Crow.
Oh god, our viewer count's gonna drop like 8.
What happened?
What? Drew's out too. Man. Our viewer count's gonna drop like
All right.
10.
Randy.
Do you see it?
Yeah. Oh wow.
All
Oh, gee.
Take us on the journey.
Okay, so like I said, I was never really big into horror movies growing up. My family kind of super Christian, and they were like, you don't want to watch that kind of stuff, and made me scared to death of that kind of stuff. So but today I'm like totally, I don't know what happened. I watched The Walking Dead or something, and I've been very immune to violence and horror. So I went back and I kind of watched a thing and I watched all the kills and all the stuff on it, and it was pretty gruesome. But I guess he's a mad scientist guy who was trying to do some experiments, and he's trying to create super soldiers and just playing around with people's bodies, and he's just a mad scientist of the human body. And I felt like in this concept, I wanted to push the idea that he was doing it to himself first. All these experiments, he was doing it to himself.
Yeah.
So I came up with the idea that, he wanted to like split his arm, like right here, like take away the radius or the ulna out, and like help that feed to make another arm. And then maybe he like took some parts from some human he abducted, and like part of their like collarbone and their parts of their the parts that he needed to make extra arms for himself, and then he just kind of spliced bits and pieces of himself around to make it happen. And then he turned his like fingers into like surgical instruments and stuff, and it's all sharp and got all kinds of like what is it? The surgical knives. They've just been scalpels have been kind of embedded into his arms, into his fingers and stuff. Some of them are fingers, like a scalpel is a finger right here. And he's just gone crazy. He's a surgical addict, and he did it to himself. All this stuff, he made himself into a monster, and now he just continues doing this to people, and he's making his army of freaks and weirdos and monsters, just like himself. And these are just examples of how he experimented first on himself, how to how can I make 4 arms? 2 is not enough, I need 4.
Yeah.
And,
be the change you want to be in the world, right? Like, you gotta start with yourself.
Yes, so he believed in himself, guys. He believed in his dream, and he made it come true.
You gotta work on yourself before you can please others. That's what it is.
Yes.
You gotta work on yourself first.
Yeah, and you like his abs right here? You like his abs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a question about it. Who's in charge? Which one's the brains of the operation?
I think he's got a lot of brains that he put into his stomach area, and he's kind of got this amalgamation of both. He's kind of got a lot of pleasure going on up here. Mm-hmm. As you can see, he's really enjoying it up there. But down here, he's kind of,
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Listening to some Barry White there in the background, probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
Singing from the diaphragm, literally.
So this guy has, as you can see, you look in his eyes, do you see any remorse at all?
Sheer glee.
Like his ears, like he's got some like augments in his ears, like he doesn't even hear like screams or anything. The way maybe he does hear them, and the way he just hears and sees the world in a different way.
Maybe he's got it turned. He's got he's got it turned up in his ear, instead of turned down. So you can hear the screams even louder. You got some feedback. You got some feedback in the chat. Alicia says, yes, the line work is gorgeous. The shadowing, the detail, very aesthetic. Love the hands.
Yeah. And I got like a little victim here I drew in really quickly,
Yeah, I was going to ask about him.
Thank you on behalf of Randy, Alicia. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, by the way.
Doll. She's always around.
What?
Alicia's a doll. She's always around. I
She's
love
a
her.
sweetie. Yeah. We're gonna keep you.
Yes.
We're keeping you, Alicia.
Thank you.
Come on to the
We all
show.
appreciate your comments.
All your comments belong to us. All right.
Yes.
Yes.
So anyway, this is where I got with the sketch, and then I added in, I got the sketch here, and then I took it in and took it into Procreate and worked on it. And I gotta show all that nice flesh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Randy, you're getting a lot better at rendering like juicy, gross stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably because I've been on the show.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's working for you.
Bro, isn't it hard? It just gets harder. We signed up for this shit like a year ago, and we're like, oh, we're gonna have a good time. Santiago Betancourt comes around, Soren, Thomas Elliott, Krom, and it's like, what the fuck? I have 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, it's a fun, it's like, I guess it's a little, it's not a competition, but I guess it kind of is because you don't want to look like a turd when you show your stuff, I suppose.
Well, it's good for us. Look what happened to Randy. Like, Randy's fucking improving, like, at light speed. Me too. This show is great for me.
Oh, well, thanks, dude. I'm glad you think that.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Here,
I
well,
love how bruised it like, has that like real juicy, fleshy shininess to it.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you kind of, someone, Alicia says it looks mushy. Yeah, so mushy. Like, that's good. That's good. I like that. I wanted it to look like it was kind of like right here, I want it to look kind of like organs and stuff, or like wet, wet, either like wet skin or this like shredding apart right here.
like organ skin.
Like,
It looks like
like organ.
it looks like I'm gonna catch a horrible disease just by touching it. I love it.
Yeah. And this guy, what he does, his way of life, his lifestyle is not really, the best. I'm just saying.
I think he looks healthy. I think he's doing fine.
I think that's very judgmental on your part.
Yeah, very judgmental.
He's
Yeah,
doing his best. Okay.
I'm being judgmental on this, I guess, and I'm just telling you, I gotta have some standards when I say that.
No standards. No
He's just the
standards.
type of guy to be like, there is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path.
It's like saying,
He's having a fun good life. Like, he looks super happy. Like,
Look, I think you're just jealous because he has more arms than you do.
yeah, he's definitely like a supremacist, and he believes that he is superior to all of us for sure.
Well, he's worked out himself quite a bit, and
Yeah.
he's found happiness
He
within
has
his
been
work.
working out.
And I don't think anybody should shoot him down. I think everybody should be happy for him.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, he is very, very, very happy. Well, say that. He's the happiest. He's the happiest he's ever been. He's at the high point of his life right now.
That's lottery ticket winning eyes right there. That's what that is.
It
Right
is.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, I am happy for him.
$14.6 million eyes. That's what those eyes are. $14.6 million
I mean,
eyes.
he did it himself. Okay, so there is that.
Okay.
He's a self-made man.
Self-made, literally.
Yeah.
Happiness. You got to bring happiness onto yourself. You can't expect to
Can't
get it
take
from others.
that from him, guys. You can't take that from
Okay.
him.
You got some feedback in the chat. Alicia once again says those highlights, delicious. But wow, looks so mushy. But you saw that, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought
You did see that one.
mentioned that.
Delicious.
Okay, so what's the next?
So it looks like you had a lot of fun. What was your biggest hurdle, Randy? Did you have any trouble digging this guy out of your brain?
Wait, he updated it.
Actually, I actually did update it. Yeah, I updated it when I was right here because I realized that we were gonna do it while we were gonna screen share our screen. So I was like, oh, I could just add a couple things I want to add to it. what did I add to it? I added that's what I did to it. See that?
Made him pop a little bit more.
Yeah, I made it pop a little bit more.
Yeah,
Just did that right on the
I would
spot.
say that's a good idea.
That took just a couple minutes of adding some darker areas.
All right, so Randy,
Yeah.
biggest hurdle, digging this guy out of your head.
Hurdle. It's always comes down to time. It mostly just time. I'm working on something really big right now. I'm trying to get on top of this, and it's kind of a big thing for me. So and this on top of that, and so I just had to really just go for it on this one, and I had to be very efficient with my time. And I just sat down and watched. I absorbed the Dr. Satan stuff. I was really grossed out when I was watching it, and I was like, oh, gross. And my wife was there, and she left the room. And my dad was like, what are you watching, Randy? What is
No
this?
nookie
What
for
is
you
this?
tonight. All right.
Yeah, it really makes people leave the room.
That's always good in my book.
Yeah.
I'm all for people leaving my room.
So what do you think you really succeeded at?
I like the drawing. I think I did a good job in showing off his personality, I guess, and the body augmentations. I was really focusing on trying to show that he was experimenting on himself first. That was a big deal for me. I want to show that, and I really thought right here. I like that, kind of the orgasmic look he has. He looks like he's just.
I've made that face before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, Randy, I love the hillbilly vibe you gave him. I think that among artists, that would be so underrepresented in a lot of redesigns, and you went straight in for it. So kudos to that, bro. That's awesome.
You mean the zombie, the Rob Zombie? What is that called? They called it hillbilly something.
Hillbilly Deluxe.
Hellbilly.
Or
Hellbilly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of watched that stuff. I really watched it. I was really absorbing it. It's just really that horror look is really disgusting and scary, and it's really nightmarish. Surgery is a very scary thing. You ever hear about somebody who got worked on, and the anesthesia didn't work, and oh man, that they were they couldn't move, they couldn't do anything but maybe blink, and they had to experience the whole surgery.
Oh,
That right there is real life horror film stuff.
that's true.
And
He probably got addicted to that.
Yeah, and this Dr. Satan guy, that's what he does. That's what he does all day. Is doing that to people.
He's so naughty.
So-
Naughty Dr. Satan.
you. Dr.
Right.
Satan.
All right. We gotta move on. We gotta keep moving. Good piece,
All right.
Randy. Love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
You are improving by leaps and bounds, bro.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah,
so good.
Keep,
So
Just being with you guys.
keep with your that little thing that you're doing with the line art and the quick paint over. I think you're onto something. You're forcing a style, which is cool. But what time, Thomas? What time is it?
It's midnight where I am.
Okay, what time do you normally sleep?
10.
Okay, all right, let's get moving. All right, Thomas, would you like to share what you've done?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So I've got a little process video of me doing it.
Yeah, let's start with that.
Shall I start with that, and then I can show the finished thing, or the finished thing, and then I can show you how I got there?
No, let's start with the video, and then you can start talking about the piece while you show your video.
So, I need to screen share, don't I? Yeah. Are you seeing this? Can you see the?
I can see it.
Yep.
Oh.
Ooh.
Cool. So I'll just press play. So basically,
wow.
I don't think Dr. Satan's a terribly deep character. He's just a big scary horror villain, with lots of body horror. So what I wanted to do, my goal with this picture was basically just to get Dr. Satan as he is and just dial it up to 11. If he's got one tube going into his face, put 20. if you've got one arm, give him like 5 arms, So that was kind of like my thought process with this guy.
Wow.
And like the other thing as well, like in the film, he doesn't look like terribly healthy. Like he's kind of he's got the mask on, like maybe he's suffering from some bad asthma or something. So like if time goes on, that's only going to get worse, and kind of like what we were just talking about, like maybe he's augmenting himself, he's working on himself, and my thought process was the one thing he doesn't seem to be short on is living bodies. So maybe he's and let me just find a picture, and then this is and you guys can all see this, right? Like I'm not just
This looks amazing.
So my thought process was that he's got access to all these living bodies. So maybe that's rather than going down the mechanical arm path, he's going to use biological, actual organic things.
Yeah.
So here, you've got like a woman's torso that he's kind of attached to himself, and then from there he's used that as a further attachment point to put even more arms on. And that was it pretty much. Just try and making him as scary as possible.
That's sick.
It was really. I can also totally tell that you work on Games Workshop. The level, just the quality is. Games Workshop illustrations always seem like top quality to me, and this is mind blowing. This is mind blowing. I love it.
And is that news? So with Games Workshop, there's obviously the traditionally they until fairly recently all the artwork was traditional.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was black and white, done in inks. So there's kind of like this this history of using inks in this way. And I was using the same inks with the same processes and the same techniques. So basically, just trying to sort of reference that that kind of that thing.
Thomas, how long have you been working for Games Workshop?
About 2 years now.
2 years. Okay, and you've been in-house the entire time?
Yes, yeah. So I was working freelance. I graduated, worked freelance for a couple of years with the goal of working for Games Workshop. So everything I did was, with a mind to make my portfolio more appealing to them. And then, a few years ago, a job opportunity came up, and I was lucky enough to get the position.
Wow. This looks great.
Yeah, I really appreciate.
I like the.
You go.
Like I like how well you can convey like volume and texture, different textures, because the ripped open skin from the inside has a texture, but the leather glove definitely has a different feel to it, and like his own torso and the metallic parts, like everything is so well rendered.
Yeah, thank you. I'll play the video again so you can see the how it goes from start to finish.
So curious. I mean, like traditional often takes longer, and you don't have to divulge this if you don't want to. But how long did you spend on this?
It was about maybe 3.5 hours or so.
That is extremely fast.
In total, from sketch to ink.
Sorry.
From sketch and the ink, total 3.5 hours.
I did the sketch the evening before to kind of break it up, and then sat down and did all the ink in one go. So yeah.
That's pretty fast, bro. Good
That
job.
is really fast.
Are we all still holding on to our time is an issue for us?
No, well, it's always good to know. Like how long especially if someone's used to working traditionally or a particular type of illustration, you're gonna get really fast at it. Like that's just part of it.
Yeah.
Like Randy.
This is how quickly I painted it.
Yeah. You're like Sonic the Hedgehog, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that turned out great,
What were you
man.
say?
Oh, I was saying, just like you, Randy, you've been doing like more traditional / digital stuff, and it's actually like pushed what you're doing like faster. Like you're getting much faster at it. Whereas before, you'd work on a piece for like 2 weeks and not get even half as far. So like you get used to.
Noodling, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's one of the real advantages of traditional is it does encourage you to be decisive. Like I think when you work digitally, you have that thing where like, oh, maybe this is right, maybe it's wrong, maybe I'll sort it out later. But with traditional, it really forces you to kind of like make that decision. And I think like in some respects, it can be faster. I think, and it's certainly.
I agree.
Doing digital afterwards.
Yeah, because digital artwork could technically, well, a lot of times it can be like eternal. Like when do you stop? Because you can keep going,
Yeah.
Whereas traditional, like a lot of the mediums can only go to a certain level, and then you got to stop. That's as far as that medium's going to go. Like, I mean, you can push it further, but it's like very incremental. Like you're not going to get very much out of it that much further. So. But yeah, this is great stuff, man. I really like the underlighting that you were able to convey with and you got to push some of that rim light on Dr. Satan himself. So
I wanted to have that sort of like that B movie kind of horror lighting where they always have the really over the top side lighting. And my original plan was to scan it in and then actually digitally paint over the top, like put the color in and really have like I was thinking of having in green. With a really like in your face strong having it red with a green rim light.
Like a classical Universal monster movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then I decided I kind of want to have a weekend, so didn't do that.
I need to have a weekend. We're gonna do black and white with some sepia.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But beautiful piece, man, and yeah, it does have a Games Workshop vibe to it. You could tell. Well, I mean, it makes sense. You do a lot of work for them, so. But beautiful. What was your like? Everybody's got them. What was your biggest hurdle jumping into this?
So I think doing the video actually was the biggest hurdle because I had to do the video in one go. So I was kind of quite conscious about standing up and leaving the deck and stuff. So by the end of it, I think the arm was aching a little bit from having it raised, doing the picture. So like breaking up and doing it in different sittings, I think would have made it easier.
Well, you could have, right? You could have paused the recording process and then recorded again,
What?
and then.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you just stop and then record again, and then use your whatever you're gonna speed up the video process, and you splice the two videos together, and you're good. I'll show you later. I'll show you.
I'll put that in mind for next time.
Yeah. So you can get up and pee and stuff. It's gonna be rad. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, amazing.
What's your favorite part about what you've done, Thomas?
I don't know. I just really enjoyed the process. Like I think doing extreme lighting traditionally can be quite tricky and quite rewarding when it's when you get it right. So I think having the the shadow of the ribs and then the strong underlight on the breasts and you're sort of saying the face, like having a very strong sense of form that's brought about with the lighting. I really enjoy doing that.
Yeah, there's something very satisfying about rendering and giving things volume.
I've just deleted the file. Okay, I'll stop sharing.
What?
Wait, you deleted the video?
I pressed the trash can when I wanted to press the zoom.
Oh no!
Well,
Wait, no, James, you have a copy.
I got a copy.
Yeah.
So
I'll go into my.
So you're good. I got a copy of the music one and the other one, so you're good. So if you can't recover it, I got you.
I was looking forward to like frame by framing that shit.
So, you like my picture?
Well,
You like my picture?
Yeah. Who wants to buy it? Message Thomas Elliott. I don't know if you're selling it, but
yeah, it's a beautiful piece.
Oh yeah, we link stores and stuff here, so
yeah.
I don't really have a store, but just if anyone's interested, just contact me.
You got some feedback in the chat. Alicia says those highlights delicious, but wow, looks. Oh no, that was for Randy.
No,
she says I don't know words to describe that. Wow, she says the flesh detail of muscle tone so good. Richard says what's Games Workshop's checklist in order to get to work for them?
really good at doing art, I guess.
Yeah, I think they're looking for a particular style, or if you're actually like kind of have like a metal style already, like
Well,
you.
and I imagine they also have a preference, like you said, for traditional work.
Not necessarily, no. So now it's mostly digital. In fact, it's nearly entirely digital.
Okay.
They're very, they like it when people are passionate about Games Workshop. So if you're looking to work for them, just check out the universes, the intellectual property, and just get excited by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they do have a extremely rich world.
Yeah.
There's meant to be a thing where it's actually the biggest fictional universe at all. So bigger than Star Wars, bigger than Lord of the Rings. Like it's meant to be.
Oh, for sure. It's like a.
40K has 40,000 years of history, or more, like 80,000 80 million if you count the Eldar.
Yeah. There's also just there's I don't know 20 armies. Each army is split into sub-factions. Each sub-faction has its own spread of characters and and then each one of those has got their own novel. So it's it goes by factors.
Yeah.
Wow.
Especially the Imperium, though, right? They're they're the big most of the writing has been done about.
And nobody's right. None of the factions are right. They all have their angle though. Everybody's kind of gray, which is the most compelling part of it for me. I'm like, okay, they all got something wrong with them, and they all have their own points of view.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Of course, the orcs are right. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Wow.
Thomas, do you have an army?
I have several. You don't get to work for them and not be a massive nerd.
What was your first army? Mine was orcs, and I regretted that because there's too many pieces. And back then it was pewter. So
yeah. I started two armies at the exact same time, actually. So I started Space Marines, which I think everybody does, and Tyrannids.
oh yeah, Tyrannids.
Yeah, that was back when the models were metal as well. So fond memories of that.
Yeah. People used to sneer at the plastic ones, but now they're all plastic.
Yeah.
They'd be those are plastic. Nah, I want the metal bloodthirster. Give me that one. I want the big metal bloodthirster.
The metal models did have one advantage where if you lost really badly and you really didn't like your opponent, you could throw a metal monstrous creature at your opponent and you might just kill them. So
yeah, that's part of the rules. Those are English rules though. I've read about that. You can actually kill your opponent. It's allowed. You won't go to jail. You just, as long as it's done with the figure itself, and you hit them just right, and they die, you're okay.
Yeah.
The figure did it.
Is the old Navy rules? Whoever dies first loses.
Yeah.
That's the oldest rules in the book right there. Whoever dies first loses. That's right. Next show is on the 7th of next month. And who knows what we're doing? Anyone?
Right. Nautilus redesign.
Yeah, we're first ever Monstieur artifact show. We're going to be redesigning something inanimate, which is the Nautilus from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Every show previous to today has been they've been characters. So this should be a fun, different breakdown to redesign something that's might challenge, might give us a new type of challenge. So looking forward to it. That will be on the 7th at 3 p.m. So every other Sunday, that's when we're live. Joining us today, we're Amir Alam.
Bye.
We got Thomas Elliott. We got Randy Taroni. We got Krom Waits.
Yeah.
And I'm J.R. Coffin. You can find us all in links below if you guys want to check out anybody's stuff. Do any of you have any personal projects or things that you're plugging right now that you'd like to tell everybody before we close shop? Go.
So the video that you just saw, I've got a collaboration with a musician friend of mine, Jack Cox. And that's a video where Jack will be playing some Rob Zombie music over the time-lapse video. That'll be going up on my Instagram very shortly. So if you want to check that out, that'll be worth your time.
Awesome. Anybody else?
I currently have a comic going on. It's called Unfiltered. It's a very slow burn girl love drama turn horror story. It's kind of like a love letter to Terminator and Yuri manga, which is a weird. I guess it's as weird as it gets. If you guys like comics that have weird genre mishmashes and can be absolutely horrifying, and if you have the patience of a saint, yeah, I like to plug that. I don't know if I could drop a link anywhere.
We'll put a link in the video description below.
Yeah.
After post show, so you guys wait. I don't know if you watch this tomorrow, it'll be on.
That's a shameless plug that I was gonna do.
Where can they find it? Like before
it's
that?
on Top Us right now. It's a webcomic,
no actual.
site.
Can you? Oh, okay. So direct link.
Yeah, no, I don't have a site at the moment. I need to take some time to like figure out the know-how of coding. I do want to have like a personal site for my comics, but at the moment, this is what I'm doing to promote it, and it actually makes it easier to reach a wider audience because it just focuses the audience on one place. But I will eventually make a site. I already have 3 comics.
Just start posting pages on your any social media.
I started posting them on Twitter.
Yeah. Post just to get people in it, like a page or 2 a day. You know, you probably have a big backlog, but yeah. But awesome, dude. Yeah, we'll post that link below the video, so that'll be up post show. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you artists for coming on and contributing the amazing artwork that you did. And see you guys on the 7th. I said the 7th, right? All right, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Dr. Freedom!
I can say that!
Thank you for watching Monstieur. Hope you've enjoyed the show. To find out how you can be part of the action, subscribe to this channel and follow us on Facebook. Until next time, thank you.